Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying all the great information that we're learning in this class tonight because emotions are real. They're a real thing. We all have them. But these oils are amazing and they can help us work through them and release them, which is such a good thing. I've used them a lot. They have definitely helped me to deal with the feelings of grief and loneliness, especially around the holiday time. So I wanted to hop on and share with you guys how I'm doing that. And that way, if that is something that you're feeling or that you're going through, then maybe these will help you too. Because, you know, especially if you've lost somebody close to you, and I've had this experience with both my parents. My dad passed away 16 years ago, and my mom passed away. This will be our second Christmas without her. So even though I absolutely love the holidays and I love celebrating and being with everybody, the holidays are tough and sometimes they're sad. Even though it's been years, you still grieve. You still miss your family or your loved ones, whoever it was, even if it's a pet, because, you know, our fur babies are our families too. So even though, you know, it may have been a while, you still have those feelings. You'll still have different stages of grief, feelings of loneliness or sadness. So I wanted to share with you two that have really helped me. Really, there's a bunch of oils because you guys know I use a ton. But for grief, when you're looking in the Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils book, the oil that is listed to help with grief is joy. And if you guys don't have this one, you need it. It's such a good oil. But to specifically address the emotion of grief, according to this book, the way out of the grief is change brings growth. And we all know that, right? Change is not a fun thing. It's sometimes a scary thing, but it definitely it brings growth in all kinds of ways. And the other side of the emotion of grief is happiness. And so joy is a perfect oil for that. So in order to use this one, it says to apply it to the alarm point is the adrenals, which is right on the side of your nose. So I'm going to show you. So you would apply it right here and you would say, change brings growth. So you just do that emotion, say the affirmation that goes along with it. This is your alarm point, the adrenal, so it's on both sides of the nose, and it says to touch it simultaneously whenever you are using it for that reason. Another way that I like to use joy, and I do this every single morning, is I take a drop and just apply it right over my heart. Because, you know, we all need a little bit of joy in our heart. Anything that we can do to help us with that, it's great to do. And then, of course, just inhaling, because you guys know that just breathing your oils in and smelling them, it's a direct connection to the limbic center in your brain, and so it can immediately affect your emotions and how you're feeling. So that's something else to do. The next one is loneliness. So to address loneliness, according to the Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils book, the oil for that is White Angelica. So this is one that we definitely have on hand. Several of us use it in my house for different reasons even. That's another beauty is these oils can be used for several things. It's not just a one and done type of thing. But on this one, the other side of that emotion the other side of loneliness is connectedness. Connectedness with all things that is. So that's really great, right? And the way out of that and the affirmation that you would say is, I go to a loving space. How nice is that, right? So for that oil, I'm going to put it on a different finger. You're going to apply it to the alarm point, which is the heart, but it's not right over the heart where you would think it would be. So it's actually along the mandible, along your jawline, between the, how do they write it? Between the angle of the jaw and your chin. So that point, like right there in the middle, and that's when you would say, I go to a loving space. And so that's a good way to apply that. And of course, just breathe it in, enjoy that smell of the oils, and just let them do their work for you. As far as White Angelica, another way that I like to use this one every single day, and I actually have my girls doing this too, is we take a drop and then we just kind of coat ourselves in it. Front to back, just give ourselves a nice good coating, protective shield of White Angelica, because it's also really good at keeping other people's negative energy and just their negative gunk off of you, because we don't need to carry anybody else's things. What we have is what we are given and what we need, so leave their stuff alone. You don't need it. So those are the emotions and the oils to help for grief and loneliness, but I also wanted to share two others that really, really helped me right after I lost my mom. And I still use them like every single day just for part of my emotional health routine because, you know, I want healthy emotions. But frankincense is one of them. Frankincense is super grounding. I like to apply that one to my chest and then just breathe it in because it just helps settle me and helps me feel centered. I've also used frankincense vitality, which is our white labeled ones, drop under my tongue. And that tends to help when I'm having those acute feelings of, you know, just nervousness or anxiousness. And it seems to just kind of simmer things down for me. So frankincense is the one I always have on hand. You guys know me. If you know me, if you've seen my oil bag that I carry around, all of these oils are in there every single day. So they're my go-tos. And the last one is Valor. That's a very popular oil with us. Valor, courage. When you're going through grief or feelings of loneliness, you also need lots of courage. Courage sometimes just to get up and get out of bed. Courage to just carry on with your normal everyday things. And courage to find your new normal without that person, without your pet, without, you know, whatever it is that you're missing. You got to have courage to go on because that's, you know, what we have to do. That's what they would want us to do, right? So Valor is a great one that I apply. I like to just smell it right out of the bottle. I've been observed doing that, probably sitting in my car at traffic lights several times. But I also like to take this one and apply it to the back of my neck. So I'll just take it and rub it right back there. On a really rough day, I sometimes apply it on my chest, on my wrist, wherever you need it. If you have diffuser jewelry, that's another great way to have all of your oils. So you can put on the one that you need that day and then smell it all day long. All right, guys, so those are my little tidbits for helping with feelings of grief and loneliness during the holidays. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below and I will go back and answer them for you, okay? Thanks for joining and have a wonderful holiday.